Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Cask 529. I'm Brian.
And I'm Shona.
Tonight, we're bringing to you another episode of Bourbons between, this time the price is $30 to $40.
$30 to $40, yes.
So we did 20 to 25, 25 to 30, but this time...
And moving forward, we're going to do $10 ranges.
$10 ranges.
Yep.
We just didn't have the inventory really to get 4 bourbons between $30 and $35. Is that correct?
Yes. And I wanted to do something a little bit unique tonight in the fact that there are 4, well there might be more, but I found 4 small batch bourbons that were between the $30 and $40 range.
Nice.
So I thought, you know, why not make this a little bit unique to the $30 to $40 range and keep them all small batches. Now, I know that we did a small batch episode previously. However, the only one in that small batch grouping was the 1792.
Okay.
And so these were not in it. Now, you and I have obviously tasted all of these.
Yep.
But I do not believe they've ever been in a grouping together. So I thought this would be a unique batch.
And also, we talked earlier before we set up. You'll notice that there's no Woodford in this lineup, and Woodford would fall into this category. We just didn't have the right size bottle Woodford to fall into the category.
And it wasn't a small batch.
And it wasn't a small batch. So we had the 1.75, which was more money, so it wouldn't fit into this flight. But if we'd had a 750 ml, aside from it not being a small batch, it could have also fit into this, to this flight.
It could have.
But this is unique that they're all small batch also.
And I will say that I put this together today when we got home. So I am not blindly tasting. However, after I poured these, I really truly can't remember which order they're in. So I'm a little bit blindly tasting, but not really. But Brian is fully blindly tasting. He does not know what I put in each of the glasses.
No idea.
I will say, Brian took me out on my very first bourbon hunting excursion this morning.
I did.
Yes.
She got up bright and early.
Yes, on my day off. I don't have many Mondays off, but the day I had off.
An alarm clock was set.
Alarm clock was set for 6 a.m. So I guess I really did get to sleep in a little bit longer than I normally do. But we got up at 6 a.m. for a store that opened at 9, only to find out today was not its release day like we thought it was.
They had changed their day since we had originally got that information. Probably last fall.
Yeah.
And obviously this location is 3 hours away from us, so it's not someplace that we normally go, that we would have known that.
But we did have another location opened at 10 a.m. And so we did score 2 bottles of Blanton's today.
2 bottles of Blanton's.
So he assured me that it was a good thing we got up.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, and honestly, we're sitting pretty good on Blanton's right now, but you can't walk away from an allocated product if they're offering it and you have any interest in it whatsoever. You kind of have to take it. So they offered, that particular store today offered Blanton's and Buffalo Trace. And previously, we have not given Buffalo Trace the best reviews. So we chose to leave that there.
Yes.
However, that's not allocated, so we could have got the 2 Blantons and 2 Buffalo Trace, but we didn't desire as such.
We did not.
We still have, I don't know how much is here.
I think we have 3 bottles of Buffalo Trace, 1 open and then 2 bottles.
Yeah. So we've got plenty of Buffalo Trace, really. So if anybody close by likes it and wants to come sit and have a drink with us, we'll be happy to pour some Buffalo Trace for you. So,
all right, so let me go over these for a second. not the first one that we're going to be tasting, but one that we're going to be tasting, the 1792. It's a small batch. It is 93.7 proof. And its mash bill is 74% corn, 18% rye, and 8% barley. And one thing I found out that this is also one of the Sazerac.
Oh, okay.
In the Sazerac family.
Okay, great.
So, but it does have its own distillery.
So it doesn't come from Buffalo Trace,
not.
but it is
Nope.
made by Sazerac.
So, do you have any clue what the 1792 stands for?
You know what? You mentioned to me that you had some info on where the name comes from. I have no idea where 1792 comes
So,
from.
1792, they chose that name because that was the year that Kentucky became the 15th state in the Union. And so
Nice.
they named it 1792.
That's interesting.
It
I did
is.
not know that.
Yep. The Knob Creek, I will also say on the 1792, it is aged at least 4 years. It's not really age dated, just states that it's aged at least
Great.
4 years. The Knob Creek small batch, it's a 9 aged bourbon, 9-year aged. I can get that out there. It's 100 proof. And its mash bill is 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. And it is, Knob Creek is part of the Jim Beam family. Then we move to Elijah Craig, which is another small batch. And it has the year 1789 right on it, and so that is the year that Elijah Craig opened his distillery.
Perfect.
However, I will tell you that Elijah Craig is part of the Heaven Hill distillery family. So this one is a 94 proof, and its mash bill is 78% corn. It's 10% rye and 12% malted barley, and it is aged between 8 and 12 years.
Okay. So it's got a nice age to it. That's a bourbon with a nice age.
Yes. Now the Four Roses is going to have me a little bit tongue twisted, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I did some reading up on that. We had a 3-hour drive home today, so I had plenty of time to read while Brian was driving. Four Roses is a small batch. It is a 90 proof, and it is aged between 6 and 7 years.
Okay.
Okay. So now what I found out about Four Roses is they use various mash bills and various yeast strains. So what I could find out about this Four Rose small batch, it uses 2 different mash bills. Because it says right on the bottle that it is crafted from 4 select bourbons. And so the 2 mash bills that it says that it uses is their mash bill B and E. The B mash bill is 60% corn, 35% rye, and 5% malted barley.
Okay.
The E mash bill is 75% corn, 20% rye, and 5% malted barley.
Okay.
So both mash bills are high in rye, so you're probably going to feel...
Yeah. It's also really corn heavy.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So then it uses 2 different yeast strains. Yeast strains. K and O. K is known to be have a slight spicy characteristic, while the O has a rich, fruity characteristic. So
that's actually interesting. This uses 2 different mash bills,
yes.
and it's made from 4 different select bourbons. Mm-hmm. So the small batch select is actually made from 6 different bourbons. So I wonder if there's 3 mash bills involved in it. We didn't research that, I know, because we weren't using that today.
Correct.
But that'll be interesting to look at and see.
Yes, and so one thing I forgot to share, the 1792 is $32.99 here in Ohio. These are all Ohio prices. The Knob Creek is $39.99. The Elijah Craig is $33.99, and the Four Roses is $36.99. So they're all between the $30 and $40 range.
Great.
Okay.
Well, I'm anxious to get started
All right.
and see what we've got.
Start with A.
Start with A.
Kind of sweet on the nose. I don't smell too much heat.
I don't get a lot of heat, but I do get that sweet that you're... Sweet on the palate.
I don't know if I even want to try any more. This one's so good.
That's real slight, I'd say charred oak. Very light, it's not heavy. It's not overbearing. Compared to what we tried earlier tonight for fun.
Yeah. You can definitely tell the caramel, maybe some toffee in there.
Mm-hmm.
It just, even now still on my tongue, it's lasting.
It almost makes your mouth. It almost makes your mouth water. It's just
very smooth, full of flavors.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably sit there and pick out a few more. I almost want to say I have a slight chocolate cocoa.
I get that. Definitely the caramel. Really good.
I can tell
can't
you
even
for
begin to
between
guess.
$30 and $40, whichever one A is, you
Worth
can't
the
go
money.
wrong with
Yeah,
it.
it's definitely worth the money. And you know, honestly, like you said at the start, you and I have had all these. The only one that I'm nervous about is the Knob Creek 9. And it's not that we thought it was bad before, it was just really, really like a bonfire in your mouth.
Right, but the first time we had it,
It was a neck pour,
It was
it was
a neck
brand new
pour.
bottle,
Mm-hmm.
yep. Anyway, watch that be A. I don't think it will be.
on to B.
I keep forgetting, you know what these are.
Well, I kind of forget which ones are which, to be honest. I think I might remember which one A is.
Now, I don't get any spice or heat on the nose there, but I also don't get the sweet that was here. And we've said before that I don't really have a good sense of smell, so.
No, I'm picking up a peppery. When I had to hold back a little bit of a sneeze.
Okay.
So like a black pepper. Doesn't smell hot. Yep, I got that black pepper on my nose again.
Wow. So I feel like I've got some really heavy honey flavor there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, the charred, but
I'm getting
it's
some
really
spices.
sweet though, and that's got to be the honey.
Yeah, definitely the sweetness, but it just has a touch of the spice to it.
It does. I don't think it's got as much as A had. I don't think it's got.
No.
A wasn't hot, but it had that touch of spice or heat. I don't get that at all really here. And I don't know if you talked, I don't remember if you talked to proof when you went over the bottles. Mm-hmm. The lowest proof we're tasting is 90, so it's not like we're tasting 80 proof bottles. The B is
I can tell you
really,
B is very good.
yeah, so far if between A and B would be my pour.
I'm picking up a distinct flavor that's why I'm sitting here pondering on what that flavor is.
I get, oh, that's so good. I get more of a dark chocolate out of B. It's just really, really rich.
It is. I don't know if I'm prepared to say I like it better than A, but regardless, you can't go wrong with either of these.
No.
I'm picking up, this light, like black pepper in the nose and in the tasting. Honey, probably caramel.
Yeah.
I want to almost say I'm picking up some apple though.
Apple. Yeah, kind of like cinnamon apple. Yeah, cinnamon
Yes.
apple, exactly. Yep. And I wasn't getting it either. I mean, I had that flavor, but
Yeah.
it's like biting into a piece of apple pie.
Well, and then at the end, I don't know if you have this, and I mean, disagree with me, but I'm getting a little bit of tartness. Not like a sweet tart, but like just a little bit of, and it could be from the apple, like just a tart.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be what you're getting it from. I'm not getting that tart.
Okay.
I'm just getting smooth, sweet.
It's very good.
It's like a liquid piece of apple pie to me.
Okay. I mean, I'm getting the apple, obviously, and stuff. I don't know.
That's fine. You don't have to get my apple pie.
Maybe-
You don't even like pie.
I don't like pie.
And I'm going to share it with you anyway.
Blended it into a bourbon, I might like it more often.
You might. You might.
We just need to make the crust out of corn.
Blend it into a mash. Find somebody with a still. I think we know somebody maybe that has a still.
C. On to C.
Now I'm getting a little more heat, a little more spice on this.
I'm not picking that up.
You're not getting any heat.
Not yet, at least. But I am.
I don't get it on the palate. I don't get any on the palate.
No.
In fact,
Getting-
it's still good. Of the first three, though, that's the. There's not a lot going on there.
It's smooth. Just a little bit of spice. A little bit.
And I've got a little bit of the charred oak.
Yes.
Not much.
Just a tad bit of honey.
It's in there. I have to really look.
A little
for
bit of
it.
caramel. It's not as full bodied as A and B. Still very good though. I would definitely put this in the $30 range. It's not.
Oh yeah.
It's not bad. It's just after you taste A and B, it's kind of a letdown because these ones were so.
I will say, based on our previous tasting of Knob Creek, though, we haven't had it yet.
You don't think?
Not based on what we knew before. Possibly it's changed that much, but if it has, it's really changed a lot. If this is B, I'm going to find another bottle of it.
Good news is these are all easy to find.
They are.
So I do not have to get up at 6 a.m. to go help you find it.
And when we started doing these comparisons, that's something we said that we would never use a bottle that was allocated or hard to find.
Right, when we're putting them in the price ranges.
Right, when we're
Yep.
doing the price, because we want you to be able to go into the store and get the bottle we're talking about. Now, that's not to say we won't review those bottles.
Right.
In fact, I guess that's kind of not true because we did do E.H. Taylor on the small batch.
It was the small batch, though. We said we weren't going to do that on the pricing.
Pricing. You're right. You're right.
I do feel like this one is probably the lowest proof one compared to these two.
Really? I'm not saying good or bad or indifferent, but you would say that's a lower proof than B.
I would, yeah.
Interesting.
Only because, I guess it's because it's, to my palate, tastes a little bit more watered down than what A and B is. Regardless, if you poured me, see,
You're going to drink it.
I'm going to drink it.
Yeah.
It's good.
I am too.
But
and to me, I'll go back through them when we're done. To me, that's the highest proof we've had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it'd be close with A.
Okay.
It's definitely higher than B in my opinion.
Okay. Ready for D?
I am. Why do I always drink more water than you?
I don't know. Can't answer you. On the nose, it smells really good.
That's got more of a sweet scent to me than the
Vanilla,
yeah.
some caramel. A little bit of heat, not a whole lot.
No.
Definitely picking up some rye.
You know that when that first hit my palate, it was almost like a sweet tart when it first hit my palate, and that didn't last long. But I think that's the highest proof we've had.
Could be. The lasting flavor is just sweet on my tongue. Not a burn, it's just sitting there and it's sweet. It's full of honey. I probably picking up a little bit of maybe some butterscotch. I could be wrong. I'm not a big butterscotch fan, but I'm picking up.
I'm not getting butterscotch. I'm getting spicy honey.
Yeah, definitely.
Spicy honey.
Spiced honey.
It's spice, but it's sweet all at the same time. It's like spice wrapped up in a sugar cube. That's interesting. I didn't taste anything out of these four that reminded me of what we first had when we first drank Knob Creek 9.
You can pour me any of these and I'll drink any of them.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, before we go back through these and line them up based on our favorites, I will tell you there's not a single one of these that I would not go repurchase, being that they're between the $30 and $40 mark. Mm-mm. I would probably always have one of these on our shelves. Well, once we get shelves.
Well, and I know that it's coming. It's coming. I know we said that about all the three of the Four Roses when we did the Four Roses flight, that we would always have those three of those four bottles. And I know we felt that way about Small Batch when we first, the 1792 when we first had it. Elijah Craig has been one of my favorite pours.
It has, yes.
The Knob Creek is a silent pleasant surprise tonight. And I don't know which one it is, but it doesn't matter because they're all... If I had to guess, and we're going to go back through and taste them all again, but if I had to guess right now, I'm going to say Knob Creek is D.
Okay.
That just seemed like the highest proof to me. The caveat there is I don't remember the pleasant flavors in this the first time. But it's been open.
Well, if that is Knob Creek, I'm glad that you're liking it because remember this weekend I found Knob Creek 12 year.
Yeah, which we picked up.
Yeah, so I'm anxious to...
Yeah, we're anxious to try that. That was the first time we'd ever seen Knob Creek 12.
Yeah, I'd never seen it. It was funny because it was sitting in a box. It was the last one in the box on the floor at the end of an end cap. And I was looking for another bourbon to see if they had gotten it in. They did not get that one. But I just happened to pull that box up and it had the one in it. And I'm like, hey, we don't have this one. And I looked on OHQL and it doesn't appear that you really can get it too many places at all.
No, it was pretty slim. The pickings were pretty slim in Ohio because I looked after she did. It was out there in a few stores, but down in our area where we're at, it's nowhere around here. Every store that had it when I looked was up near Lake Erie, up on the shore, so.
Yep. All right, let's go through these again so we can pick out our favorite, which I think I'm going to have a little bit of a hard time doing because
I don't think number one's going to be a problem for me. It's going to be 2 through 4.
Really? Mm-hmm. See, it was my favorite when I tasted it.
So that did not seem as hot, spicy that time. You still high on A?
Mm-hmm, I am. B's right there with it though. Still say I like A more though.
I guess honestly, and this is true, it's what your palate likes. You like A. I don't dislike A, but I feel like I'm as excited about B as you are A.
B is great.
And if I remember right, I was pretty excited about C also. Oh, I know I was excited about C. This was my apple pie, wasn't it? Or was that B? No, I think it was C.
I think it was C.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Four Roses that had a high rye mash bill. And so I was expecting one of these to have like a lot of spice, like a ton of spice in it, to be able to pick out the Four Roses. But I'd say they're all pretty comparable when it comes to the hints of spice in them.
Yeah, I think they're similar. B and C I don't think are as spicy up front, but as they linger, I think that spice comes through. Mm-hmm. They all have, I'd say, equal. My lip feels like I've been eating something.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hope you're not getting allergic to bourbon.
No, I don't think that's a problem.
You're going to save all kinds of money if you are.
Mm-hmm. Won't you, though? I feel this is unfair putting anything in fourth place
I agree with you.
because it's like they should go 1, 2, 2, 2.
Mm-hmm. So what's interesting here is we have complete opposite. We left B and D
We both have B and D in the middle
in the middle.
as our 2 and 3.
I have A as number 1 and you have C. I have C as my number 4 and you have A.
Yep.
So we're like completely flip-flopped there, but our middle ones are the same.
Yep.
Are you ready for me to tell you what these are?
I'm anxious to know what they are. Yes.
I got it in a little piece of paper.
So that I know where I want to start getting my pours from.
All right, so my number 1,
Which is A.
your number 4. Mm-hmm. Did you want to guess any of these? Because that might make it.
My one guess was that D was Knob Creek.
Okay, that's the only one you want to guess?
Yeah, I don't have any idea.
Okay, so A, my number 1, Brian's number 4, is 1792.
Wow. I feel like that tells you how similar they all are because I really like 1792.
I was shocked when
Yeah.
honestly couldn't remember which ones. I know that's crazy because I'm the one that poured them and wrote them down, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
So when I looked at this, I was kind of shocked because
We even
I
talked
know
about that on the way home today.
how much you liked 1792.
Yeah.
So I was kind of shocked.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So your number 1 and my number 4
Which was C.
is Four Roses.
Okay. So, our A is 1792.
That's C. Four Roses is C.
Okay. C is Four Roses.
So that's your apple pie.
Yep. It's really good. Really good.
Okay, so we both have B in number 2. And that is Elijah Craig.
So I was right about D.
And D is Knob Creek, which both came in 3rd for us.
Yeah. Those might be, I don't know if they're too far forward or not.
So,
1792, Elijah Craig, Four Roses, and Knob Creek.
yeah.
So I was right about the Knob Creek. I honestly could not have began to guess any of the other 3. But like I said before you revealed what we had, I feel like they really should be our favorite, our second favorite, second favorite, second favorite.
Right.
Because they're wow.
Well, now that I know out of this lineup that my favorite is 1792, I definitely want to find that 1792 sweet wheat.
Yes.
So if anybody can tell me where I can find a 1792 sweet wheat, please share it in the comments.
Other than ordering it online.
Yeah, other than paying 20 times the MSRP on it.
So that is actually, that is 74% corn in that mash bill.
So regardless, I can tell you, you cannot go wrong with any of these 4
Nope.
if you're looking to buy a $30 to $40 bourbon. And you should, in Ohio, you can pretty much go into any liquor store and find these for.
And this Knob Creek, honestly, was the most expensive at $39.99.
Right. Yep. So hey, 4 excellent bourbons right there.
Awesome. That was a great flight. All 4 of those were fantastic. It was hard to pick a loser, really, because they were all so similar. But
Yep, very good.
okay, well, thanks. That was awesome.
Hey, you're welcome.
And if you would hit that subscribe button and the like button, guys, we'd sure appreciate it. This is Monday evening, so we've got some other good stuff coming later this week. So stay tuned, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.